Today, I will briefly tell you about The Brutalist. Additionally, I will share my opinion about the film, as it is very likely to win an Oscar. The movie follows László, a Jewish architect fleeing to the United States in search of a new life. At first, he lives with his cousin and his cousin's wife, works fixing furniture, spends time watching them dance, and visits the church. Meanwhile, his wife remains in Europe, unable to flee with her niece. László writes letters to them, and here we discover he is addicted to heroin. One day, he receives a commission from a millionaire named Harry to renovate the studio and library of Harry's father, Harrison. However, when Harrison sees the renovations, he becomes enraged and orders László to leave without paying him for the labor or materials. This severely impacts László's financial situation. Later, Harrison seeks him out, invites him to a party as a guest of honor, and thanks him for the library, which has been praised in a magazine. During the party, László mentions his wife's situation, and Harrison promises to help, as well as entrusting him with constructing a building. László begins working enthusiastically. In the second part of the film, his wife arrives in the United States, but is now in a wheelchair, and her niece, traumatized, cannot speak. László faces several conflicts. Harrison's son shows inappropriate interest in his niece, changes to the project are made without his approval, and the train carrying construction materials derails, increasing costs. Harrison decides to abandon the construction and fires everyone, including László. Over time, László finds another job, his niece regains her ability to speak, and she gets married. She plans to move to Jerusalem with her husband and suggests that László and his wife join them. Later, Harrison seeks out László again to finish the building. They travel together to source materials and attend a party where László, under the influence of drugs, becomes vulnerable. Harrison takes advantage and abuses him while he is dazed. Eventually, László completes the building, but he is filled with anger and resentment. Seeing his wife in pain, he begins giving her his drugs to ease her suffering, but she experiences a medical emergency. In the hospital, she realizes what happened to László and confronts Harrison. During this confrontation, Harrison's son pushes her out of her wheelchair and drags her violently. Meanwhile, Harrison disappears. Years later, we see László being honored for his work at a ceremony where his niece, now happy and accomplished, delivers a heartfelt speech about his legacy. In conclusion, the movie is excellent but suffers from being overly long with many unnecessary moments. The performances are perfect, and it is almost certain to win Oscars for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and perhaps Best Supporting Actress. There are very dramatic moments, such as when László and his wife share their feelings about the war, and the film captures exactly what it feels like to deal with a humiliating boss. Even so, I would still give the Oscar